In today's English lesson, we are going to read a news article together. This advanced lesson will focus on very essential vocabulary and grammar you need to know, not only to fully to understand this article, but to participate in the culture of English speaking worlds. We will analyze each paragraph. Finally, at the end of the lesson, we read the article so that you can understand the best pronunciations and intonations. So welcome back to Smile English Learn. Of course, I'm Zeeshan, so get less started. That first headline is that essential nearly 400 incarcerated firefighters deployed as Los Angeles battles wildfires. The firefighters earn $5.80, 10.24 per day's pulse, 100 an hour when responding to active emergencies according to CDCR. Essential incarcerated responding to that important word is that essential. Essential is can be both an adjective as a noun and as an adjective essential describes something as necessary or vital. As a noun, essential refers to the things or quality itself that is necessary to vital. That important meanings absolutely necessary or important. For example, the water is essential for human survival. Incarcerated is that to point or keep someone in prison or place where they are not free to leave. For example, the judge incarcerated the defendant for 5 years. Responding is to that means reacting to replying or something such as a question or inquiry. I am responding to your email. That first paragraph. Hundreds of incarcerated firefighters are helping battle the destructive blaze that are rapidly spreading across southern California as powerful windstorm devastates the regions. That important word incarcerated. Destructive blaze and rapidly spreading across. Incarcerated refers to the act of confining or imprisoning someone typically in a jail or prison as a result of crime or illegal infractions. Destructive blaze is the refer to intensely hot and fiercely burning fires and cause or insignificant damage or distractions to the other surroundings. For example, the world fires that destroy homes and ecosystems. Adverb rapidly, happening or done quickly or at a fast rate. For example, the fire spread rapidly through the building. Spreading across is a phrase that indicates the expansions or disseminations of something that information, diseases, or fire influence over a wide area or multiple locations. For example, the wildfire is spreading across the dry landscape. The second paragraph is that the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation CDCR said on Wednesday that it has deployed 395 imprisoned firefighters across two nine crews while the country fights multiple out of control blaze fueled by extreme winds and dry conditions. The incarcerated crews are embedded with the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protections, and it's nearly 200 firefighters who have been stretched thin from several simultaneous emergencies. That important word is that had deployed, fueled by crews or impelled, have been stretched which kind of sentence simultaneous. Had deployed which kind of sentence that had deployed is past perfect tense. The past perfect tense is used to describe an action that occurred before another action in the past. It is formed using the auxiliary verb that had the past participle of the main verb, in this case deployed. For example, the emergency responders had deployed to the disaster zone before the storm hit. Fueled by is a phrase that indicates something, a process, event, or emotion, is being driven, spotted, intensified by a particular factor or a source. For example, the protesters were fueled by a social media campaign. Crews is referred to a group of people that working together to achieve a common goal or objective, often in a specific field or industry. Or embedded is present simple tense. That present simple tense is used to describe universal truths, habits and routines, general statements, and current situations. Or embedded suggests that crews are currently integrated or incorporated into the affected areas. Have been stretched is present perfect tense. That present perfect tense is used to describe action that started in the past and continue up to the present. Action that occurred to an specified times and in the past. Simultaneous is a refer to or more events or actions that occur at the same time. For example, the simultaneous translation allowed attendees to understand the presentations in real time. That third paragraph, at least five dead and overwhelmed firefighters struggle to contain Los Angeles blames. Overwhelmed is that important refer to being completely overcome or overpowered by situations, emotion, tasks, even often resulting in feeling of being unable to cope. For example, the emergency services were overwhelmed by the number of calls during the natural disaster. That fourth paragraph is that CDCR operates more than 30 firefighter camps across the state where people serving state prisons and sentences are trained in firefighter and support authorities as they respond to fire, floods, and other disasters. The sites, also called conservation camps, are considered minimum security facilities. The California, which is grappling with longer and more destructive fire seasons in the climate crisis, has long relied on incarcerated people for its response. The CDC or crews have time accounted for as much as 30% of the world fire force in the state. That important word is that grappling with, relied on, accounted for. Grappling with is means struggling to come to in term with, to understand and deal with difficult situations, problem or emotions. For example, the community is grappling with the aftermath of the natural disaster. Relied on means to depend on count or some things or someone to for support, help or stability. For example, the team relied on their captain's leaderships to win the game. Accounted for is means to explain or justify something, often is a financial and numerical sense, to ensure that the something is sovereign is present, safe or explained. For example, the company financial reports accounted for every transactions. The fourth paragraph is that the fire camp wages are meager but are considered high-paying jobs behind bars, with CDC or firefighters earning between $5.18 and $10.24 a day and an additional $1 per hour when responding to active emergencies. When responding to disaster, they may earn $26.90 over a 24-hour shift, according to CDCR. Meager are considered and may means insufficient, inadequate, or scanty in amounts, quality, or extent. For example, the meager salary made it difficult to make ends meet, or considered passive voice. As passive voice present simple tense, that third form is considered. The passive voice emphasizes the subject receiving the actions rather than the doer of the actions. Are considered implies that someone or something is regarded to thoughts of a particular way without specifying who is doing the considering. For example, the new policy is considered a significant improvement. May is that possibility. Some might happen or be true. Permissions, someone is allowed to do some things. Ability, someone has the skill to capability to do something. The fifth paragraph, wildfires are consistent and more formidable challenges for California, and CDC or conversations for fire camps remains dedicated to supporting the state's response. Jeff McCober, CDC or secretary, said in a statement on Wednesday that work of our incarcerated firefighter and staff is an essential part of this effort, and their commitment to protecting lives and, and property during these emergencies can be overstated. That important word is formidable, dedicated to, commitment to. That cannot be overstated. That which kind of sentence? Formidable is inspiring fear or apprehensions. For example, the formidable's line is known as the king of the judge. Dedicated to is a phrase that indicates a strong commitment, devotion, loyalty to something or someone. It implies a sense of purpose, passions, and priority. For example, the researchers is dedicated to finding a cure for the disease. For example, committed to, devoted to, passionate about, focused on, enthusiastic about. Dedicated to is acknowledge someone hard work or contributions, express gratitude or appreciations, honor someone's memory or legacy. For example, this book is dedicated to my parents who inspired me to pursue my dreams. Commitment to, important word is that commitment to. Commitment to is a phrase that indicates a pledge, promise, or dedications or something someone is implies a strong obligations, responsibility, or loyalty. For example, the company commitment to sustainability is evident in their eco-friendly practices cannot be overstated. That which kind of sentence? A statement that asserts the impossibility or negations of something. Grammatically, modal verb constructions of phrase is used to verb cannot express impossibility or negations. This phrase is passive voice where the subject importance receive the actions of be overstated. For example, the importance of education cannot be overstated. Overstated is a verb that to state express something too strongly excessively. To exaggerate, over emphasize something, to make a statement that goes beyond what is reasonable or accurate. For example, he overstated his qualifications on jobs applications. That sixth paragraph. The fire the fires this week have stretched from the Pacific Placids, a picturesque community along the oceans, to Pasadena, east of the city of Los Angeles. At least 5 people were killed and more than 100 killed. Stretch from were killed. Were killed is passivized. The subject is to receive the action of the word were killed. Simple past tense. This action is verb that occurred in a specific point. Many people were killed in the accident, and stretch destroyed. Structure destroyed is a refer to the demolitions, damage, or complete annihilation of buildings, bridges, or other constructed facilities. Participants in the program have said that they appreciate higher wages and the opportunity to do meaningful work while serving this sentence, but the jobs can be taxing. That appreciate can be taxing. Appreciate is to recognize or enjoy the values of something. To be grateful for the to feel thankful or thankful for something or someone. I appreciate your help on the project. Can be taxing is a model verb that express possibility, ability, or permissions. For example, this project can be taxing on our resources. That next paragraph is that the fire crews went to go out and support our communities and protect people's our property, and said Amica Mota, an advocate who served with the fire camps from 2012 and 2015 while incarcerated, responding to more than 20 fires. It is horrific to see what is unfolding, but I know that the firefighters inside have a desire to take part and are working into these horrible conditions, proud to be there. Go out. Important word is that advocate solve with is responding to. Go out is leave to a place. I am going out to grab some lunch. For exit leave. Advocate is means to publicly support or recommend a particular cause or policy or idea. Supporters, champions, prudents. She advocates for women's rights and equality. Served with is accompanied by the steak was served with a side of garlic, mashed potatoes, for example, accompanied by paired with. Responding to means reacting or replying or something such as a question or inquiry. I am responding to your email. Motano, the executive director of the Sister Warriors Freedom Coalition, as a group that support formerly and currently incarcerated people, said the firefighter wages were helpful, but that the people still struggle to get by. We are doing this heavy crucial work, and but many people inside cannot support their families, can barely afford to just get hygiene supplies for themselves. Nobody is saving money with wages for when you go home. Nobody is able to send money to cover the expenses their children are incurring. Get why we are doing heavy crucial hygiene that incurring most important word is paragraph. That get by is to manage, survive, or cope with difficulties or challenges. I am struggling to make ends meet, but I am getting by. Here we refer to behavior, action, or qualities that demonstrate expansional or courage, bravery, selflessness, often in face of danger, adversity, challenges. For example, the firefighter heroic action saved the family, but the burning buildings. That important word is that crucial. Crucial means extremely important or essential, vital to the success, outcome, or resolution of something. For example, the doctor said that the next 24 hours would be crucial in determining the patient recovery. Hygiene refers to the practices, that habits that help maintain cleanliness, prevent and spread of diseases. Incurring means to suffer or explain something unpleasant, such as loss, expensive, or penalty, or as a result of particular action or decision. For example, the company incurred significant losses due to the economic downturn. Participant must have 8 year or less or then sentence and some convictions including sex offenses and regions are disqualifying. Must have convictions, offenses, arisen. That important word must have. Must have is a model phrase that expresses necessity, obligation, or strong recommendations. You must have a passport to travel abroad. Offenses, insult, hurtful comments, or profanity. For example, his racist comments was a serious offense to the entire community. Conviction is a belief about right and wrong, good and bad. For example, she has strong convictions about social justice, advocate for human rights. Russian is internationally setting fire on occupied dwelling or buildings. Russian is a serious crime that can have a devastating consequences. If you have any information about Russian's incident, it is essential to contact the authorities immediately. Graduates of program have reported difficulties assessing firefighting jobs of released despite their experience and training. Accessing important word is released. Assessing is a refer to the act of obtaining or using something such as information and physical location system. She assessed the secure server using her long credentials. Released is referred to something being set free, made available, discharged from a particular state or confinement. The prisoner was released from jail after serving this sentence. CDC or says that some can seek professional emergency response certificates and expedited expungement once freed, and that a felony convictions does not bar employment with qualifier. One 18-month training program helped participants become qualified to apply for 80 level firefighter jobs. Expedited expungement freed felony. That important word is that. Expedite is referred to as something being accelerated or sped up, often a meet deadlines or achieve a specific goal. For example, the company offered expedited shipping to ensure timely delivery. Expungement is a process of officially deleting or erasing a record, typically a crime record, from public views. Freed refer to the being released or liberated from a state of confinement, restrictions, or oppressions. For example, the prisoner were freed after serving this sentence. A felony is a serious crime that is typically punishable imprisonment or more than 1 year by death. Felonies are considered more severe that Misdemeanors are often involved in crime, cause harm or individual or society. For example, the violent crimes murder, assault, robbery, rape. The next paragraph, Mota called the grueling nature of the job. We always had these reputations on the firegrounds of being the one who did dirtiest work and hardest work got where the earliest stayed there longest. There was a lot of respect we had get from other fire crews, but this also takes its toll. That important grillings, reputations, dirtiest, dirtiest get from takes from its toll. That important word is that grueling is that complex problem solving, intense studying, high pressure decision and making. For example, the grueling hikes of the mountains look several hours to complete. Dirtiest, extremely unclean or filthy, such as dirty environment or object. For example, the dirtiest part of the city was abandoned industrial areas. Get from, to obtain or receive something from someone or something. I got a new book from the library. Takes its toll is an admitting oppression that something negative impact affects someone or something over time. It can refer a physical, emotion, or mental strain. For example, the working long hour takes its toll on my health. Next word was still. She added the firefighter love to this frontline work at that fierce and intense and has the potential to save lives. Fierce is referred to something or someone that is intense power or some intimidating or aggressive. For example, she gave a fair speech advocating to social justice. Intense refer to something that is extremely strong, powerful, severe, often is to point, being overwhelming or extreme. The intense, for example, the intense sunlight made it hard to see. Potential is the natural abilities to talents that someone is born with. She had innate potential as a musician. So the reviews, the paragraph is again that essentially nearly 400 incarcerated firefighters deployed as Los Angeles battles wildfires. The firefighters earns 5.18 or 10.24 per dollars when responding to active emergencies according to CDCR. Hundreds of incarcerated firefighters are helping battle the destructive blaze that are rapidly spreading across southern California as a powerful windstorm devastates the regions. The California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation said on Wednesday that it had deploying 395 imprisoned firefighters across 29 crews while the country fights multiple out of control blazes fueled by extreme winds and dry conditions. The incarcerated crews are embedded with the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protections, and it's nearly 200 firefighters who have been stretched then from several simultaneous emergencies. CDC operates more than 30 fire camps across the state where people serving states imprisoned stands are trained in firefighting and support authorities as they respond to fire, floods, and other disasters. These sites, also called conservation camps, are considered minimum security facilities. California, which is grappling with larger and more destructive fire seasons amid the climate crisis, has long relied on incarcerated people its response. The CDC or CREWs have at times accounted for as much 30% of the wildfire force in the state. The fire camp's wages are meager but are considered high paying jobs behind bars, with CDC or firefighters earning between $5.18 and $10.24 is a day and additional $1 per hour when responding to active emergencies. When responding to disaster, they may earn 26.90 over a 24 per hour shift according to CDCR. Wildfires are a constant, formidable, and challenging for Californians, and CDCR conservation fire camps remain dedicated to supporting the state response. Jeff McCober is CDCR secretary had is a statement that Wednesday that work of our incarcerated firefighters and staff is essential part of these efforts and their commitments to protecting lives and property during these emergencies cannot be overstated. The fire this week have stretched from a specific Palisades, a picture square community along the oceans, the Pasadena, east of the city of the Los Angeles. At least 5 people were killed and more than 100 structures destroyed. Participants in the program have said that they appreciate higher wages, that the opportunity to be meaningful to work while serving this tense, but the jobs can be taxing. The fire crews want to go out and support for communities and protect people and property, said Amika Mota, an advocate that who served with the fire camps from 2012 and to 2015 while incarcerated in responding to more than 20 fires. It is horrific to see that what is unfolding, but I know that the firefighter inside have a desire to take part and are walking into these horrible conditions around to be there. Motano, the executive director of the Sister Warrior Freedom Coalition, a group that supports formerly and currently incarcerated people, said that the firefighter wage is helpful, but the people still struggle to get by. We are doing this horrific crucial work, but many people inside cannot support their family, can barely afford to just get hygiene supplies for themselves. Nobody is saving money with wages when you go home. Nobody is able to send money to cover the expenses their children and incurring. Participants must have 8 years or less than a sentence and some conviction, including sex offenses and erosions that disqualifying. Graduates from the program have reported difficulties assessing firefighting job when released despite their expensive and training. CDC or its firms can seek professional emergency response certification and expedited expungent. One firefighter that is felony conviction does not bar employment that with qualifier on 8 months training program helps participants become the disqualified to applying for entry level firefighting jobs. Mota recalled that the grueling nature of the jobs, we always had this reputation for fireground of being one did not dirtiest work and hardest work that get their job earliest stayed there or the longest. There was a lot of respect we had get from other fire crews, but that also takes its toll. Still, she added that the firefighter loves to do this frontline work, that this is firefight intense and has the potential to save lives. So please subscribe this channel and share and please subscribe and bell and more new lesson. So thank you very much.